So at this point right now, you've seen that I've already finished the angle kit and everything on this car. And if I haven't finished the angle kit on this car, then that means that what I'm doing right now didn't work out. So hopefully this car is done. It's out of the garage. Now, the air hose for the impact, I need it for the other side because it's giving me some trouble and it doesn't reach all the way to the front. So it turns out that I've had this thing for years sitting at my dad's house. And I've never used it. I've never hooked it up. It's brand new. So I just put a fitting on it. So we're ready to go. And now what I need to do is attach it to the ceiling. So I figured the best place to use this, because it's 50 feet of hose and the garage is 18 feet wide by 28 feet long. And then there's this wall and room and everything in the back. So this is about 4 feet forward to between this stud and the stud that the wall is built on. So it's going to be roughly that 24-foot mark, which means that I'm going to have 24-ish feet of hose for the entire garage that I could use. I could basically go all the way around, come around the car, and then keep going all the way back to this side and not have any issues at all with length of hose. All while being retractable, so it's not going to get tangled on everything, so it's going to be super mint. This also means that I'm going to have roughly another 26 feet of hose for outside. And because my truck is 24 feet long, that means that if I pull my truck right up to the door, so that way I have access to the tools and everything like that, because it's too tall to actually fit in the garage, and that means I have roughly 2 feet of extra amount of hose that I could use. I could go all the way to the end of the truck on one side and then just walk around, go all the way to the end of the truck on the other side. So that gives me the best usability in terms of pneumatic tools inside the garage and outside of the garage by putting it right there in the middle. So what I have to do is make a bracket. These are 18 inches apart. I'm going to have two 2x4s coming down, going right into this stud here, and then I'm going to have kind of like a ladder section going across 2 more sections, so that way it fits perfectly right in between both of those. I can just drill holes, mount that to it, and I'm going to attempt to run the hose through the wall, so that way I can have it all nice along the top, and then down to the actual compressor itself. Then once I figure out some kind of solution, I will finish soundproofing this room and put a door on, and then the compressor room will be nice and quiet, as well as, you know, maybe organize all the friggin' car parts that I have everywhere. Not to mention, like, the countless other projects that I'm working on, because the garage is, like, completely fucked right now. So because of the price of wood right now, let's try and use as little as possible. So it's going to be at 21 inches there. So right here, we're going to want a 21.5-inch piece and 21.5. Wow, the garage is completely square. Who'd have thunk? So now this is just a scrap piece of 2x4 that I have from, there's this giant metal thing in the garage that the old owner, I guess, used to pull engines and stuff. It was this giant metal thing that attached to the wall, went up. You can kind of see like the mounting point there and the mounting point there, and then it came down. And it was this giant steel structure that went all the way across. And then down here, you can still kind of see the outline along the floor where it was held in. So I gained more floor space by removing that. And then I also gained a whole bunch of scrap wood. So hopefully, by the end of all this will have cost me nothing, because I'm just using a bunch of old crap that was all around the garage, as well as the whole mounting thing that was over there attaching the metal bracket to the wall. So now 21.5 and 21.5. Just grab our straight edge here, just to make sure that we cut it perfectly straight. Draw another line here. There we go. So at least when we're cutting, we can follow along. I lost the charger for these batteries, so I can't use the circular saw that I have over there, and I don't have the adapter for the new batteries. That's probably something I'm gonna have to order, but for now, handsaw. 21.5, 21.5. Now, what would Canada be without Robertson screws? Just make sure that goes in the middle of the stud, which is right here, right up there. There we are. That's nice and level. All right. Perfectly level. Now the next one is gonna go right here. You can see all the screws from the stud, so we know it's right about there. I'll just screw one of these in. Okay, that's good. Still level. This is 13 3/4. That one's not. Pop this out. Let's measure 13 3/4 right there. Now let's measure one last time. 13 3/4. Perfect. So now let's toss another screw in. Okay, that's good. Those can hold me, so we're set. So to have enough room that those are gonna fit in there nicely, we're gonna need around 13.5. So do I have 27 inches of wood left? Wow. Just. So let's cut this down. So 13.5. Right there. Right there. Now all I gotta do is measure how far out I want this. Okay, so we gotta measure this. 8, right to the middle, but I don't want it that close to the walls. 9, and if the hose or something gets tangled, it's gonna suck. So let's do 10. 10 inches will give us enough room that if the hose gets tangled or comes out or something like that, then that's not gonna be an issue. So this is exactly 8 inches. So the center is gonna be 4. So that means that 6 right to here. First one needs to be 6 inches from the wall. Now 2x4 is 3.5 inches wide. So if we do 3.5, find the center point, 1 3/4 is how much overhang we have from the 2x4. So if we take 1 3/4 from 6, from there, perfect. Okay, perfect. So we got one kind of in. Hey, right on the money. Look at that. All right, that's in there. Now let's measure the other one. Those holes are 6.5 inches apart, 6 3/4 from center to center, 4.25 away from the wall. Measure this 2x4 right here and get our 1 3/4 mark. Now we can just go from there to here, go to our 6 3/4, which is going to be the center. Measure our center right here. Do the same on this side. So that's the center. And our center mark right here. And the center mark from there to 6 3/4 E. All we gotta do is just match those center marks and we're in business. So let's try and get that as close as we can. So now the whole bracket is made. Let's get the center. So it's 20.5, so that's gonna be 10 1/4 right there. And it's still 20.5, so that's still gonna be 10 1/4. Now if we measure from center to center, so that's 4 3/4. So that means that, what the hell is half 4 3/4? We need 2 3/8. So let's make a center point in here. Okay, and a center point here. Yeah, somewhere around there, whatever. Now from that center mark, we can do 2 3/8. And from here, 2 3/8. From about there, about there. So let's make sure that those are in the right position, which is gonna be right about here. So that's our drill mark here. And again for this one. And lastly, this one right here. I just gotta drill those out. Okay, so let's just drill those out. Bingo bango. So here's some old bolts that I just had from something. I don't even know what. I cleaned them up a little bit. Let's get that in there. Come on, get it. There we go. And then the last one. Done. Ooh. Look at that. Well, that's done. So now I just gotta run the air line from the compressor. But I have to get in there to do that. It's already midnight, so I'm not gonna be able to drain the compressor, so that's it for me. But you don't have to wait, so we'll take this up tomorrow. So day 2, I just put this fitting on because it leaks like crazy. I left that on overnight and it completely drained the compressor. So now with there being no air, I can actually drain the compressor itself because it compresses the water out of the air. Move all this crap. I really gotta finish the A3 so I can get all the parts out of here because like literally from here over, those are all parts for the A3 except for the carbon hood over there for the WRX, this intake for the truck, and like that portion of the bumper for the E36. But like here's rocker panels for the truck, the exhaust for the Q7, E36 parts. So I mean, it's completely disorganized, but also completely organized. And that's a Jetta bumper that I actually needed for parts for the A3 to fix the bumper because I can't order a new one because of COVID and shipping and everything. Anyway, gotta get to the compressor. Pull this back and tip it over. And now we have access to the valve at the bottom of the compressor. There we go. So now we can thread this all the way in, which will open it. Now we tip it over. Water should spill out. Probably should have thought ahead on this one, but let's take this, put that under there, so that way it can drain into that. This hose has to run up along here and then through this wall onto this side, so it can come into this fitting here. So now, all I gotta do is drill a big ass hole right in. You know what, that might be pretty clean. I'll do that. We got a hole right to the other side. Perfect. Now let's just take this fitting off. Okay, I live in Canada land, so it's a 15 and a 19. Let's just break that loose. Can try to organize this a little bit. Got all the nice rusty water from the bottom of the compressor here. We'll just close that valve back up. This is why you drain your compressors, because they make rust inside. Okay, now we can take this line. Now we can just grab some new Teflon tape here. So we're going to be spinning this towards us to tighten it. So that means that we want to have it going in the opposite direction. So that way the end of this, when we're wrapping it up, when we're spinning it, it's not peeling it off. That makes sense. So now with that on, spinning this in, it's working with the Teflon tape for how we put it on. So now that's it. You can just start threading that in. Now we just need a 15 mil wrench. Look at that. All nice and clean. Damn. It's almost like I knew what I was doing or something. That's weird. All we gotta do, just make sure everything here is nice and tidy. There we are. Now finally, I can just turn this back on to auto, and it will automatically maintain air pressure in the compressor. And once the tank is full, I can test it out. So now, I'm assuming you probably couldn't even hear me when I was talking in that other room. That wall makes a huge difference for noise, where the compressor's running full tilt right now, and I can actually still talk. So if there's someone here to try and have a conversation, it works. So once I make a new door frame and everything, get a door on there, boom, it's gonna be like silent. That thing can run the entire time, and I can even make these videos without annoying the hell out of you people. So anyway, I'm gonna let that fill up, and then we'll test it out. The compressor's not running, which means it either broke, or it's full. So now we just grab the line and we run with it. Oh, beautiful. This is gonna work so good. And then if we have to go to the other side, we could bring it over, or we could just pull out more line. Oh, look at how much we have. Look at all the line. So sick. And we could just like use it over here. This is fantastic. I can't believe that I've reached the point in my life where having extra hose for pneumatic tools is exciting. That's incredibly depressing. Well, I'm content. Now I just gotta finish the 42 other projects that I'm working on. Actually get the garage all cleaned up. And I keep making more stupid videos yelling at cars, pretending like I know what I'm doing. So, like the video if you liked the video, dislike it if you didn't like it, that's cool. Subscribe if you haven't, that's awesome. Or don't do any of it. I'm not telling you what to do.